mighty companions. This is EARL Purdy. Welcome to Facebook Live. Welcome to the Way of Mastery. I am EARL Purdy. And I want to welcome you to the Way of Mastery here on Facebook Live. We're welcoming all of our mighty companions. And we're going to do a section that is so magnificent this evening. And that section is called Call for Assistance to Dissolve Fears. Our topic is Call for Assistance to Dissolve Fears. 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 We are here for the Way of Mastery here on Facebook Live. I'm Earl Raj Purdy, and I'm here to share the Way of Mastery with you. And I've been studying the Way of Mastery for about a decade now, and it is fantastic channel material. And we are going to cover Call for Assistance to Dissolve Fears. That's what you got to do. And I'm a divine repetition teacher. That's what I call myself. One of the things that Spirit has said many, many times is that we must remember the truth. And we think we have to understand it and analyze it sometimes and try to fit it into our own ego. That's not the way I teach. That's not the way I teach. I'm going to do what Yeshua is saying, which is for us to hear it and for us to apply it. So I'm about applying these ideas and hearing these ideas. Now, there are some guidelines, some very important guidelines that allow you to open your mind enough to really hear the message. And this is the only thing you need to do. Remember only this. Remember only this. You don't have to believe these ideas. You don't have to believe these ideas. You don't have to accept these ideas. You do not have to welcome these ideas. Some of these ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas. You may actively resist some of these ideas. Some of these ideas, you may find some of these ideas hard to believe. You may find some of these ideas hard to believe. You may find some of these ideas hard to believe. You may find some of these ideas, some of these ideas hard to believe. You may find some of these ideas hard to believe. You may find some of these ideas hard to believe. And some of these ideas may seem to be really startling. Some of these ideas may seem to be really, when I say really, I mean really startling. Some of these ideas, you may be startled by some of these ideas. And the other thing to remember is that you are not being asked to judge and analyze these ideas. You are not being asked to judge and analyze these ideas. This is not an analyzation presentation. This is not an analyzation presentation. If you need to analyze, this is going to be the wrong teacher and the wrong presentation for you to tune into. I am the divine repetition teacher. I'm about, let's hear this. Let's really hear what's being said. Whether we believe it or not, no matter what our reactions to it may be, Let's just hear the testimony before we become the judge. Let's just hear it. And it's using the ideas that will show you that the ideas are true. If you use the ideas, you will see that the ideas work. You need to use the ideas. Use the ideas. Use the perception that the way of mastery is giving you. And if you use the perception that the way of mastery is giving you, then you will see that these ideas are true. Don't forget to share this video on your timeline. Share this video in a group. Just take a minute to do it. Right next to the comments, that's where you get an opportunity to share it. I'm going to get you up on my iPad so that I can see your comments, so we can interact with each other. That's why I do it live, so that we can all join. We are the Mighty Companions. We are a spiritual family, and we are from all over the world. And we are going to join right now. And we're going to hear this. First I'm going to read through the paragraph, and I'm going to then go through each paragraph so that we can see what it is that we're being told to do. So here we go. So on page 150 in the way of mastery, the way of transform, the way of the heart. We are in the way of mastery. We're in the way of the heart. We're in page 150. It's called Call for Assistance to Dissolve Fears. That's what it's called. So I'm going to cover this paragraph and then go over it with you. The way of the heart is a good beginning. We have called out to you across space and time. And if you have heard the call, if you have heard the call, the connection or the relationship with us is already established. If you have heard the call, you have already established a relationship with the invisible masters and invisible teachers. There is then no bridge to cross. So there is what? There is no bridge to cross. There is no bridge to cross. Only the willingness to receive what is true. So there is no bridge for you to cross. There is only a need for you to have the willingness to receive what's true. Do you know that there is no bridge for you to cross? There is only the need for you to have the willingness to receive what is true. And what is that? Yeshua is available for me always. Your spiritual teacher, your inner teacher, your spiritual guide, Yeshua or Jesus is available for me always. Mary, another invisible spiritual teacher, Mary is available for me always. So what did that just tell us? Well, it said, now let me kind of set this up, Mighty Companions. You have to get out of your rational, when I said rational, I mean get out of your worldly programmed mind. Just for a minute, lay your ego, the part of you that's been indoctrinated and taught by the world, to just for a second lay that part of you over to the side and open your minds. And the Course in Miracles teaches that the way that you open your mind is to tell yourself, what I know may not be all there is to know. Tell yourself, what I know may not be all there is to know. In other words, you don't know everything. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. I don't know everything. At this level, you don't know everything either. So first tell yourself, what I know may not be all there is to know. And this particular section is very mystical and very spiritual. It is very much talking about invisible masters and invisible teachers, guides, all of our invisible help. This section is talking about our invisible help that is available to us. It's very deep. And it starts off by saying, the way of the heart is a good beginning. And then it says, check it out. It says, we have called out to you across time and space. And if you are a person that's really heard the call from the invisible teachers and invisible masters, then you have already established a communication with your invisible teachers and your invisible masters. And there is not a bridge for you to cross. So what is it that we are being asked? If we're being asked to only have the willingness to receive what is true. So I am willing to receive what is true. I am willing to receive what is true. Are you willing to receive what is true? 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 Do you know what is true? I am going to tell you from the way of mastery, this is what is true. It says it here. Yeshua is available for me always, which means Yeshua is available for you always. Mary is available for me always. Mary is available for you always. The one you would call as my friend, Saint Germain. This is Yeshua, Jesus talking to us. The one you would call as my friend, Saint Germain, is available for you always. The entire family, the lineage of masters, have sought through time to create a frequency. So what are the spiritual masters trying to do? The spiritual masters are trying to create a frequency and a vibration that will do what? The masters are trying to create a frequency and vibration that will dissolve the effects of the negative thinking. The invisible masters, Yeshua, and the invisible teachers and the invisible masters are trying to create a frequency. The masters are trying to create a vibration that will dissolve the results of your negative thinking that you have extended out of your mind. Do you know that you have had negative thinking that you have extended out of your mind? You have had negative thinking that you have extended out of your mind. And the invisible masters are trying to create a frequency and a vibration that will dissolve all of your negative thinking. All of the negative thinking, all of the negative thinking. The teachers, the invisible masters are trying to create a vibration, a frequency that will dissolve all the negative thinking in your mind. Because it's the negative thinking. It's the negative thinking. It's the negative thinking that creates the smoke. Do you know that it is the negative thinking that creates the veil, the fear, the guilt, the unhappiness around you? Is being caused by your negative thinking. The veil, the fear, the lack, the sickness, the anger, whatever the grievance is, it is being caused by your negative thinking. And the invisible teachers, the invisible masters, the invisible helpers that we have are trying to create a vibration, a frequency that will dissolve our negative thinking. To dissolve that, all of us are available to you, and our number is legion. Did you hear that? The invisible teachers, the invisible masters are saying to us that they are available to us. There are invisible beings, there are invisible higher beings, just like there are conscious higher beings in the body, there are conscious higher beings outside the body. And the conscious higher beings outside the body are available to you. And there's many invisible masters and teachers that are available to you. And don't forget, the name of this section is what? Call for assistance to dissolve your fears. This is about getting us to call for help. That's what this section is about. So if you really need comforting, this is the perfect section. Whenever you are afraid and upset and you need comforting, this is the perfect section for that. So this isn't a section. This is not a class that's about you trying to figure out how you're going to save yourself and how you're going to help yourself and how you're going to figure out the way for you to go, and you're going to figure it out, and you're going to figure it out, and you're going to figure it out. No. This is about you're developing the ability to ask for help. You're developing the ability to ask for assistance and to know that you have all types of invisible assistance through what you would call angels or guides or invisible masters. That is what this section is about tonight. It's about us getting out of our arrogance and our ego that tells us we're the only ones and we have to figure out everything on our own. This is saying to us that we have all kinds of invisible help that's available to us. You have all kinds of invisible divine help that is available to you. Rest assured, you are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. In any moment, you need only call upon me. So Yeshua was saying that we can call upon him anytime. We can call upon Yeshua at any time because Yeshua is with us. Jesus is with us. Yeshua is with us. Yeshua is with us. So, if you still got an issue around Jesus and you got an issue around Yeshua, and if the Christian terminology in the sense of talking about Christ and Jesus, if it bugs you, if it bothers you, to the point that you can't hear the content of the message, then this just might not be for you. This just might not be for you. There'll be another way the Spirit will reach you. But those who do not have resistance to the idea of Yeshua and Jesus and invisible masters and Saint Germain and Mary being helpful to us, well, let's bask in that. Let's enjoy that. Let's find out what the message they're trying to tell us, and let's do it. Rather than be in the camp that's always fighting the idea. That's okay. You won't always fight the idea. Spirit will reach you in the way that you can be reached. So we are told you need only call upon me and I am with you. And then what does Yeshua say? Yeshua says, I do not come alone. I don't come alone. I do not come alone. So not only do you receive the help of Jesus, the help of Yeshua, Yeshua is telling us, hey, you know what? I don't come by myself. You calling on invisible help? You calling on invisible masters? We don't come, we hang out in a group. It's many of us. You are calling on a legion when you call for help. And then what else did the way of master said? It says, for some of you then, we would highly suggest that in those moments when you feel like you need a little help, what do you do in those moments that you feel like you need a little help? It's about to tell us, what do you do in those little moments that you feel like you need a little help? When it looks like your fear is coming up, when it looks like your fear is coming up, what do you do when you think you need a little help because your fear is coming up, your guilt is coming up, your anger is coming up, but you still know you have to go ahead? You may be afraid, but you know you still got to keep on trucking. You may be afraid, but you know you still got to keep on moving. What do you do? What do you do in those moments? Whatever it may be, whatever you think you are fearing, no matter what's got you upset, no matter what has you angry, no matter what has you worried, no matter what has you freaking out, simply say. Now, if you notice on that page, it says what? Simply say. Did not say simply analyze. Did not say simply figure out. Did not say simply come up with the wisdom in your own mind. It said simply say what? Legions of angels and masters and friends, whose number is infinite beyond comprehension. You who sent directly of God to assist me over the ditch, come now, because I declare it. and I receive it, and therefore it is. Legions of angels and masters and friends, whose number is infinite beyond comprehension, whose number is infinite beyond comprehension. You who are sent directly of God, you who are sent directly of God to assist me over the ditch, to assist me over the ditch. Come now, because I declare it and I receive it, because I declare it and I receive it, and therefore it is, and therefore it is. I'll say it again, repeat after me. Legions of angels and masters and friends, legions of angels and masters and friends, whose number is infinite beyond comprehension, whose number is infinite beyond comprehension. You who are sent directly of God, you who are sent directly of God to assist me over the ditch, to assist me over the ditch. Come now, because I declare it and I receive it, because I declare it and I receive it, and therefore it is, and therefore it is. Now, let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. Let me get down with you tonight. If you really want to get the results, if you really want to have everything you've ever wanted in your heart, if you really like to get rid of the anger, guilt, grievances, lack, sickness, and everything else that you think you are experiencing right now, one of the most important things that you can do is admit that you are wrong-minded, that there's something in your mind that is not correct. There are some thoughts that you're having that are negative and that are not correct. If you are full of anger, guilt, grievances, and fear, lack, sickness, and loneliness, there is something wrong with your thinking. So that means you need to call for assistance. You need assistance. And so simply say, legions of angels and masters and friends, whose number is infinite beyond comprehension. You who are sent directly of God to assist me over the ditch, come now, because I declare it and I receive it, and therefore it is. If you're not saying this, if you have not said this, if you are not saying it consistently, then you cannot claim you are following the teachings of the way of mastery unless you are actually doing it and giving it attention and study. I'm sorry, but half-assed approaches to the truth is not going to give you the result that you're looking for. You can't, it's like anything that's going to work, you got to give it some sincere attention and study. I'm sorry, you're going to have to read. You're going to have to study. You're going to have to meditate. You're going to have to give this your attention. You're going to have to do what it says in order to get the result that you want. And let me tell you, just saying a prayer is a lot easier than the hard struggle and labor thoughts that people usually come up to handle their problems. So we're being told, number one, you have legions of invisible helpers that will come to your assistance if you call on them. We were immediately given the prayer that we're supposed to use to call on them, which is to say, legions of angels and masters and friends, whose number is infinite beyond comprehension. So I don't even have to memorize it yet. You who are sent directly of God to assist me over the ditch, come now. Come now. Because I declare it and I receive it, and therefore it is. Then take the step that's necessary to take. After you say that, do what you are led to do. Do what you are led to do. Go in the direction of what gives you the most peace. So, do you know that we were told it will not be your imagination What do you mean? We will be with you. You are not just imagining that you have Jesus in which is Yeshua with you. You're not just imagining that you have angels with you and masters with you. I know in your mind you may be trying to imagine that that's the case. But the way a master is saying, no, we are with you. We are with you. We are really with you. We are really with you. And that means that there's one thing that's certain. And the one thing that's certain is the end. God's will for you is perfect happiness, the Course in Miracles teaches. God's will for you is complete happiness. So God's will be done. You are going to end up in complete happiness. Especially when you realize it's not going to be you that's going to be able to bring you there on your own, by yourself, because you have come up with fantasies of what you think is going to make you happy, and then you're trying to get everybody else to act out your fantasies so that you can be happy. You know that's not going to work because it's never worked. But what is going to work is for us to call on assistance in dissolving our fears. And it says, fear is nothing more than what? Fear is nothing more than the illusion you have chosen to value in order to experience what it is like to feel separate from love. And that's all. Fear is what? Fear is nothing more than the illusion you have chosen to value. Why did you value fear? In order to experience what it's like to feel separate from love. We are in the experience of seeing what it's like to feel separate from love. If you feel fear, you're feeling separate from love. If you feel anger, you're feeling separate from love. If you're feeling guilt, anxiety, worry, you're feeling what it feels like to feel separate from love, and that's all. So whenever you're upset, whenever you feel afraid, you're just feeling what it's like to feel separate from God. That's what it's like when you feel separate from God. Fear is what you feel like when you feel separate from God. Fear is what you feel when you feel separate from God. Fear is what you feel when you feel separate from love. Fear is what you feel when you feel separate from God. So when you're feeling fear, you're feeling separate from God. When you feel fear, upset, grievances, anger, worry, lack, that's what it feels like when you feel separate from God. That's what it feels like when you feel separate from love, and that's all. The way a master says, you've merely waved your cosmic magic wand, and you've said, let there be fear so I can experience it. You are ultimately experiencing fear because you wanted to see what it would feel like to feel separate from God. You wanted to see what it felt like to feel separate from love. When a person wants to see what it feels like to feel separate from God, for whatever reason, then you feel fear, anger, anxiety, sickness, guilt, upset, jealousy, insecurity. All these things are just things that you have valued in order to experience what it's like to feel separate from God. Then the invisible masters say to us, we love you, we love you, we love you. Listen to the invisible masters. We love you, we love you. The invisible masters are using my body and they're using your body. Use my body. Tell me what you want to, use my body to tell the viewers and listeners what it is you want them to know. We love you, we love you, we love you. We love you, we love you. 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 The spiritual masters, the invisible teachers, Yeshua, they're all saying to us right now, we love you. We love you. We love you. The divine is saying to you, we love you. 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 We love your butt. We love you. 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 We love you, love you, love you. We love you, we love you. We love you, love you, love you. We love you, we 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 love you. 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 Love you. Love you. We 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 love you. Love you. Love you. We 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 love you. Listen to us. We love you. 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 Hear this. That's why I'm divinely repeating it. Hear this. Don't analyze this. Don't listen to that voice inside your head that's always trying to pick everything apart and make you doubt. What you want to do now is to understand that beyond your present comprehension, we love you beyond your present comprehension. You are being loved more than you can comprehend. You are loved more than you can comprehend. Beyond all comprehension, even at what you might perceive to be our level of functioning, is the presence of God's love. Beyond all comprehension is the presence of God's love. God's love is beyond your comprehension. Stop trying to understand the infinite. It's a dumb goal. I used to always think I'm going to just study and read until I just understand and comprehend everything. And then I'll be in the position for me to just come up with all the things that I think is going to make me happy and how I'm going to get those things. And then those things were always something outside of myself. And then I told myself if everything and everybody around me were different, then I would be happy. And then I would come up with my latest fantasy and the thing I think is going to make me happy. And then I try to manipulate everybody around me to do what I wanted them to do so that they could make me happy. That's not love. That's no part of that is love. So God, our Creator, is beyond our comprehension. Our Creator is beyond our comprehension. So get off it. You will never understand God. You will never understand God as long as you see yourself as in a body and a human being separate from God. It said, beyond all comprehension is the presence of God's love, which we seek to merely pour forth to you. So it's the invisible teachers and our inner guides, our invisible masters. They're going to pour the love of God to us. They're going to give us the love of God. They're going to give us a love beyond our comprehension. That by giving, we continually receive. By giving, we continually receive by giving. We continually receive by giving. We don't continually receive by getting. You do not continually receive by getting. You continually receive by giving. You continually give and you will continually receive. Just trying to get is not giving. Getting isn't giving. Getting isn't giving. We are just more aware. It says here, the law of consciousness works for us just like the laws of consciousness work for you. We are just more aware of the laws of consciousness. So what is it that makes a more advanced being? A more advanced being is just a being who's more aware of the laws of consciousness. So the way of mastery teaches you the laws of consciousness. LOC. It gives you a lock on things. LOC. So we must do what? We must become more aware of the laws of consciousness. You have to become more aware of the laws of consciousness. The way of mastery teaches you the laws of consciousness, the laws of awareness. So you have to study. You have to read. You have to study. You have to read. You have to apply the ideas. You have to study. You have to read. You have to apply the ideas. You got to give the way of mastery your attention. You have to give the way of mastery your attention and study and apply the ideas. You must learn the laws of consciousness if you want to have an easy life. That love which God is incomprehensible forever. Did you just see that on the page? Those of you following me in the book, do you see where it says that love which God is? Because God is what? God is love. That love is incomprehensible. How long is the love of God incomprehensible? It says the love of God is incomprehensible forever. It says that the love of God is incomprehensible forever. The sunbeam never can comprehend the sun. The sunbeam can never comprehend the sun. I am a sunbeam to that sun. You are a sunbeam to that sun. Jesus, Yeshua, is a sunbeam to that sun. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we are made of one substance. We are all spirit. We are all made of one substance. And that substance alone sustains us throughout eternity. What is it that's going to sustain you throughout eternity? That one substance that we are made of. That one substance that we are made of is love. The one substance that we are made of is love. The one substance that we are made of is love. The greatest of joys. The greatest of joys. What is the greatest joy? What is the greatest joy? What is the greatest joy? The greatest joy is to surrender. How? How much? You surrender fully. What do you surrender fully into? You surrender fully into allowing that light, that love, that truth to light your way without ceasing. Surrender to the truth that's going to light your way without ceasing. So when I read The Way of Mastery, I surrender to what it's teaching me. If I've decided that this is valuable and I've decided that it's my spiritual path, then I'm going to surrender to the truth, the light that is given me. I'm not going to spend all my time wrestling with the way of mastery. I'm not going to spend all my time trying to argue with the principles. That's my ego. That's not my real self. That's the part of me that wants to keep me in hell, that makes me focus more on fighting the ideas than on remembering the ideas and using the ideas. She that releases the world embraces the Creator. What does it mean when it says she that releases the world embraces the Creator? When you release the false ideas and false perceptions that we've learned, then that's when you're going to embrace God. That's when you're going to embrace love. And he that releases fear remembers love. So you don't even remember love until you release fear. And you release fear through having assistance from the Holy Spirit, from having assistance from Yeshua, Jesus, the invisible masters and the invisible teachers. She that embodies forgiveness lives at peace. So a person that is forgiving is a person that lives in peace. And to forgive means to correctly perceive. Forgiveness is true perception. Forgiveness is not overlooking what you think somebody did to you. Forgiveness is your having the correct perception that no one's ever done anything to you. Because the truth is, your soul calls everything that happens to you so that you can learn a lesson that you're supposed to learn. That's part of your spiritual evolution. And he that relinquishes control knows perfect trust. So when will a person know perfect trust? A person will not know perfect trust until they stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to control everybody. Stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to control everybody. Stop trying to control everything. 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 Stop trying to control other people. Stop trying to control other people. Stop trying to control other people. Will you stop trying to control everybody? Will you stop trying to control everybody if you know you're trying to control everybody? Stop trying to control that situation so that it can be healed. Stop trying to control that situation so that it can be healed. Stop trying to control. Start having trust. If you have trust, you don't need to try to control everything and everybody if you have trust. So the awakened Christ that has surrendered the knot of fear called I, rests in unlimitedness forever, in perfect communion with all of creation. So what is an awakened being? An awakened being is someone who has surrendered the fear not, the fear core. And what is the fear core? This sense of an I that's separate from everybody else. The core of your fear is you think you are a little I that is separate and different and disconnected from everybody else. So when you surrender this idea that you are separate, when you surrender this idea that you're this little I, then you will rest in unlimitedness. And how long will you rest in unlimitedness? You will rest in unlimitedness forever if you surrender that little knot of fear in you that's being caused by your sense of feeling separate from God, your sense of feeling separate from everything. That's where fear really comes from, a sense of being separate. And when you are unlimited forever, how can you tell? It says, in perfect communion with all of creation. So when you know that you are in perfect communion with all of creation, when you know you are in perfect joining with all that is, you will rest in unlimitedness forever. That's when you will rest in unlimitedness forever, when you surrender your sense of being separate from everything and everybody. Then you will be in perfect communion with all of creation. And that union never ends. That union never ceases. Once you achieve true union, do you know what's going to happen when you really achieve true union? Do you know what's going to happen when you really have joined? It will expand and extends as life comes forth. Creation comes forth. And when creation comes forth, do you know what's going to be coming out of you? When creation comes forth, you will be extending the good, the holy, and the beautiful. So when creation comes forth in you, you will be extending the good, the holy, and the beautiful. That's what you will be doing. That's what you will be doing when you allow yourself to let go of your sense of separation from all that is. When you allow union to really happen in you. When you start to extend life, when you start to extend love, that's when creation is going to come forth. And when creation comes forth, it says it extends the good, the holy, and the beautiful. Now I want to read something to you. A flower that blooms in the spring for a day is the good, the holy, and the beautiful, the rays of sunlight that dance upon the oceans of this world, creatively sing forth the good, the holy, and the beautiful. The bird that alights upon your fence and sings its morning song has come forth from that infinite perfect sun, and its notes extend the joy of the child of God. So too the smile, your smile, upon one of your brothers and sisters who has received a pearl of grace through you is creation itself. You are the presence of the good, the holy, and the beautiful. You are the presence of the good and the holy and the beautiful. Every loving thought, every loving thought, every loving thought you allow to be cultivated in the garden of your own mind. Every loving thought you allow to be cultivated in the garden of your own mind. Every loving thought you allow to be cultivated in the garden of your own mind extends the good, the holy, and the beautiful. Every loving thought you allow to be cultivated in the garden of your own mind extends the good, the holy, and the beautiful. We love you. We love you. We love you. I'm glad you're communicating with each other. We love you. Therefore, sing that song without ceasing. Be willing, be willing, be willing, be willing. As we close the way of the heart, I want you to be willing. Willing to do what? Be willing to celebrate your willingness. Be willing to celebrate your willingness. Be willing to celebrate your willingness to embrace with perfect deliberateness. Embrace with perfect deliberateness what? Embrace your creativity. Embrace your creativity. Embrace your creativity. Embrace your creativity. Embrace the power you have. 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 Embrace your creativity. Woo! Do you know you have the dominion over that which is planted in the soil of your mind. You have dominion over the thoughts that you plant in your mind. So prepare that soil in your mind as well as you complete the first part of this course, that the pearls of grace. Let the pearls of grace bring you into the way of transformation. Allow the pearls of grace to bring you into the way of transformation. You're now entering the way of transformation. You're now entering the way of transformation. Celebrate, celebrate your birth. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate your birth. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate your birth as those sunbeams that are expressed through the stories of the birth of Christ into the world. For Jesus, it occurred 2,000 years ago. Isn't it time now for you to let that same birthing be fully completed in you? Isn't it about time that you let your rebirth happen? Isn't it time that you let your own rebirth happen? Isn't it time that you allowed yourself to be reborn into your new loving self? Know that it has been our honor. Listen to what the invisible guides are saying to us. Know that it has been our honor and our joy to abide with you. Listen to what our invisible teachers, what the invisible masters are saying to us. What the invisible master is saying to us is it has been their honor. It has been their joy to abide with us. Do you know that there is a whole host of beings? There is a whole host of beings. There is a whole host of beings. There is a whole host of beings encircling you every moment. There is a whole host of beings. Listen to me now. Encircling you in every moment, there is a whole host of beings encircling you every moment. You remember that you have chosen. Remember that you have chosen to answer a call. You have chosen to answer a call. You have chosen. You have chosen. You have chosen to answer a call that can be traced to the very mind of God. You have chosen to answer a call that could be traced to the very mind of God. You have been asked. You have chosen to answer a call that can be traced back to God. The mind of God. The mind of God, who has reached out to call his creation. You, God has reached out and God is calling you. God has reached out and God is calling you. God has reached out and God is calling you back to God. Love is calling you back to love. Love is calling you back to love. God is calling you back to God. God is calling you back to God. God is calling you back to God. God is calling you back to God so that you can deliberately extend love without ceasing. 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 Say it. I extend love without ceasing. I extend love without ceasing. Say it. I extend love without ceasing. I extend love without ceasing. I extend love without ceasing. You extend love without ceasing. We give you love. We hold you with perfect patience. We give you love. We use an Earl's body, by the way. We give you love. We hold you with perfect patience. We use an Earl's body, by the way. We hold you with perfect patience, knowing that the truth that is true alone about you. We hold you in perfect patience, knowing the truth that is true alone about you. And we will never leave you. We will never leave you. We're using Earl's body. Earl's body is being used as a communication device. Listen to what we're saying to you. We give you love. We give you love. We hold you with perfect patience. We are patient with y'all. We have to be patient with y'all. We know the truth that is true alone. We know the truth about you. We know the real truth about you. And we will never leave you. 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 Peace be unto you always. Peace be unto you. Peace be unto you always. Amen. All right. We're going to do a quick review of some key points, because this was about how to call for assistance and dissolve fears. I love all the communication you were doing with each other. Thank you for supporting my teaching ministry. If you'd like to make a donation, please go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com, earlpurdy.com. And if you'd like to support financially this teaching ministry, you can also use Venmo and use my email, earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I have done astrology and numerology as insight into the divine plan of people's lives. I've done soul purpose astrology, specializing in relationships for almost 40 years. So I'm available for astrology and numerology readings and insight, using also the principles and knowledge of the Course and the Way of Mastery in all 40 years of working with people. I call them clarity sessions. Go to my website and it will give you details about what I offer in my clarity sessions. And you can book a session with me right online. It's life-changing. That's what I've been told. The invisible masters speak through me. Visible masters speak through you. On Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, I do Hardcore Course in Miracles. On Tuesday nights, The Way of Mastery, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. On Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, I do A Course in Miracles in front of a live audience and on Facebook Live. It's on the EARL Purdy page. That's literally what you call it, the EARL Purdy page on Facebook. And if you don't have a Facebook account, just go to www.facebook.com/EARL Purdy Live. Just type that in, and you can watch my live broadcast even if you're not on Facebook. Listen to this over and over again. Listen to this over and over again. So I'm going to finish this up with the prayer that we were given earlier. All right, let's finish it up with the prayer that we were told. Here we go. And some of you might just want to listen. Legions of angels and masters and friends, whose number is infinite beyond comprehension. You who are sent directly of God to assist me over the ditch, come now, because I declare it and I receive it, and therefore it is. We will be with you. It won't be your imagination. We will be with you. So let's say it again. Here we go. Legions of angels and masters and friends, whose number is infinite beyond comprehension. You who are sent directly of God to assist me over the ditch, come now, because I declare it and I receive it, and therefore it is. You declare it and you receive it. You declare it and you receive it, and therefore it is. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. Remember, the purpose of this session tonight was to instruct us about how to call for assistance. It starts with believing or accepting as best you can the idea that you have legions of angels and masters and invisible teachers, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, God, all the great masters, visible and invisible. Just call on them and study, meditate, remember what was said this evening, but don't analyze it, use it. The time you would spend on analyzing, use that time to practice saying this prayer. Take your time to work on this prayer instead of the analyzation of it. We love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you, mighty companions. I read all of your comments. I'm so glad you interacted with me and with each other. And I will see you next time. Mwah. Share this video, please.